Ann Coulter, big deal, not so big.
It's outrageous the way liberals treat a black conservative. This is another high-tech lynching. Even the allegations
The words
here,
of Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice.
That's right. There's nothing liberals fear more than a black conservative. Ask Alan West, ask Michael Steele, and ask Clarence Thomas. And even what the allegations are here, I mean, it just shows you how the civil rights juggernaut has gone off the rails. The idea of civil rights laws to begin with, ironically, was to protect blacks from Democrats in the South who wouldn't protect them. Now it's, white women in Scarsdale who say, "Ooh, I didn't like it that he called me honey." And even what the allegations are in this, sorry, I'm pointing to my iPhone where I just read about it. It's not groping, it's not touching, it's not that he demanded sex. It's that he had remarks that they found inappropriate. One is that he had inappropriate gestures that were not overtly sexual. Well, what were they then? This isn't dropping your pants and saying kiss it. This is an outrageous attack on a black conservative who is doing extremely well and I think will be our vice presidential candidate.
Juan Williams, what do you say? Big deal or not so big?
It's going to be news, believe me, and it's news because Herman Cain is right now stunning the political establishment.
And do you think it is his, as Craig says, big target on his back that brought this about at this time, Juan?
Well, you know what? The negative research is in overdrive right now. Now, here's where Ann Coulter and I are going to go head-to-head because she points to the liberal establishment, and believe me, they have been after Herman Cain. They've been saying that he's the bad apple. Remember Harry Belafonte's comment and all that. But, the news here is not about the liberal establishment. This is coming out of conservative precincts. This is the conservative Republican establishment going after Herman Cain because he has lasted too long and is too much of a threat.
How do you back that up? What do you know? What do you know that shows you that the source of this comes from the conservatives rather than the liberals?
Oh, without a doubt, that's who's working these vineyards right now. I mean, what the liberals have is nothing. They don't have any of the kind of opposition research machinery in place. For the last 10 days, the Republican establishment has been going after Herman Cain on his statements on, for example, the abortion issue was a big one, and used as an example of how incoherent he is on the 909 that Craig played in the segment that you just said. A lot of that has come from people like Grover Norquist who have said, this is going to drive up your taxes. Don't fall for him. So this is the Republican establishment.
All right,
Karl Rove,
time out,
Grover, those guys, they've been going after him.
Time out. We'll take our first just before the commercial break that the opposition research that led to this scandal came from the right. Ann says that's preposterous. She's about to amplify that statement.
Number one, right-wingers never bring up personal attacks like this. There's just been an attack from the New Yorker magazine on Michelle Bachmann, tracing her ancestors back 200 years. There was Rick Perry and the N-word rock story. There was the alleged affair by John McCain. And what Juan has is Grover Norquist doesn't like Herman Cain's 999 plea, and that is not a personal attack. It's in Politico, which is a liberal publication. And when conservatives accuse someone of sexual harassment, it's true. Not with them. We accuse John Edwards. We accuse Bill Clinton. We don't go around like them accusing John McCain of having an affair, or Clarence Thomas with Anita Hill. There's a long history of this from the left.
I think that men harass without regard to their ideology.
What's being alleged here isn't even genuine harassment. Like I say, it isn't touching, it isn't groping. It's, ooh, he said something and we thought it was inappropriate.
Juan?
Well, I just want to point out, at the moment, there is no liberal running against Herman Cain. What he's running against is Mitt Romney, Rick Perry. Those are the people who are right now fighting, battling Herman Cain, and who are being hurt by Herman Cain's tremendous success. And so, to me, when Ann talks about Politico, and guess what? They're reporters like me. They're talking to sources in the campaigns. That's where this information is flowing from.
No.
When you talk about the history, I appreciate, I'm very sensitive to that history, and I realize what happened in that Clarence Thomas case. But here, you have to understand, this is a political fight going on for the Republican nomination among Republicans, and the split inside there is between Republican establishment and grassroots Tea Party folks, most of whom right now have been going with Herman Cain.
All right.